This is EA Sports. PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo set to call all the action here at the Wells Fargo Championship. We are at Quail Hollow, and Frank, it is really one of the best courses on tour.
It is a great state of North Carolina where Donna Ross developed so many great courses. They're the sort of courses that we're used to seeing, but this is a relatively new golf course. First opened up in 1961, but it certainly fits in with the North Carolina landscape. Mature trees, holes well cut out, beautiful greens, and interesting finish.
How do you like that finishing stretch? They call it the Green Mile.
Some might think it's purgatory, but I think it's the perfect touch to a great golf course. Oh, I liked that. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Looks like he's going...
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, this looks like a green light special. Second shot here to the par 5 fifth.
Yeah, the only place the player doesn't want to go is left and long. Front and soft and landing more in the middle of the green would work out.
Nice play right there. That's in pretty close. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Good birdie, now at 1 under for the tournament. Back down now to hole number 6. Early in the round and playing reasonably well. Nothing great, but has certainly not given a whole lot away.
Yeah, and actually a good position to really springboard the round from here.
And that one lands in the first cut, Frank.
Interesting choice coming ahead here. It'll be interesting to see how he reads this lie.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a master class in short game.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Well, Frank, an eagle is in play here at the par 5 7th.
And a 6 and a 7 and an 8 or a 9, actually. This is a potential scorecard record, the 7th hole. Many a tee shot has found that creek on the right, trees, problems on the left. There's no question there's a reward for a good tee shot here. But then there's a decision on, do you go for this par 5 and 2? It's not overly long, just over 530 yards. It is very tempting.
Nothing wrong with that one. How about 300 yards and in the fairway? Now set for the second shot here at the par 5 7th hole.
hazard.
Maybe wet. Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Playing his fourth shot after the third was wet. Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it.
That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. Hoping to drop only one shot, this for bogey. So with that, the score is now at even par. Frank, in modern professional golf, we're seeing more and more drivable par 4s, like the 8th here at Quail Hollow, 350 yards. What do you think of this hole?
It's not a bad hole. Drivable, some might say, but the angle of the green means it's hard for that tee shot to keep on the green. But I think the reward for hitting a driver is try and sort of aim at that tree just left of the green. And the reason why is then you've got to pitch up the direction of the green. This is a really narrow green.
That is tasty looking right there from just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Birdie try up next. So a tester from 4 feet. I'll tell you, he's setting himself up for a good weekend. Former college #1 makes another birdie. Well, Frank, what do you think of the 9th hole here at Quail Hollow?
Oh, I think it's a beauty, Rich. One of those long, nice drawing tee shots. 500 yards is a par 4. You have to hit a good drive down there. The fairway doesn't camber that much. Hole does dogleg to the left. Big advantage for a big tee shot here.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
And he's made the green. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Good stroke right there. That's a par and stays at 1 under. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Welcome to the home of the Wells Fargo Championship, where the likes of Rory Mcilroy, Ricky Fowler, and long-hitting J.B. Holmes have all won. It was first opened for play in 1961. It has really grown through the years, and it is now played by the best in the world. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Let's jump down to the golf course. That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards.
Second shot.
Frank, Rory Mcilroy had his coming out party on the PGA Tour right here at Quail Hollow. That was in 2010. You remember that final round 62?
Certainly do, Rich. That great finish to post 62. Personally, I thought that was the best round shot in 2010. And not just because it was his first win, but it showed you what he was capable of. And then obviously we've got to see that ever since.
How does that stay out?
I have no earthly idea. Let's crawl that. Hole's round. Ball's meant to go in. Even par currently.
That is a solid par putt. Here we are at the par 5 fifth. It's 570 yards. Frank, this should be reachable for most players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you hit a good tee shot, especially with the draw, it will be. But the hardest part of this is judging that kick on the fairway that kicks the ball to the right. And it sort of turns at that awkward area at where the top of your tee shot range. That's where that dog leg is.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Now the second shot to the par 5. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. And it makes the green in right. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Well, once you're on the green, I think you know this. The idea is to keep it on the green. This one's on the fringe. Nudge this one home, finish it up. So another bogey on the scorecard. And Frank, what happened this week?
I think it's a week to forget, Rich.
Now set to tee off at the 6th. It is a long par 3, 250 yards.
We could take a little bit off for the downhill, but whichever way you look at it, it's still going to be a beefy par 3. Protected on the left by that front bunker, and if you sort of scoot one long, there's another bunker over there as well.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Oh, I thought he had that. Frank, let's hope he doesn't make double bogey now.
That's the saddest coming out in you, Rich.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5 7th.
In today's game, 530 plus change you'd think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble. Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Not what he wanted, but he's headed to the beach. In the greenside bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. They par yesterday. This one for birdie. And in for birdie. Frank, I love a drivable par 4. In the modern power game, it really adds an element of excitement. And here we go at the 350-yard par 4/8.
Well, you're definitely going to love this one then, Rich, because it ticks all the boxes here. There's no water in play, just a few bunkers down the left and the one that protects the right side of the green. And you've got a really narrow green, so plenty of reward with minimal risk.
Not on the fairway here. This could be a tough shot coming up next. Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
Good-looking shot right here. Birdie try up next. Now this for birdie. Came away with a bogey on the previous round. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Little redemption chance here, had bogey yesterday. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Missed cut. What happened, Frank?
Just not good enough. That's the easy way. Way too many shots out there, especially for that calibre of play. So put it in the memory banks, move forward, better days ahead.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Players. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, coming to you from one of the game's most famous venues, the TPC Sawgrass, home to the Players.
And home of the Players too. The PGA Tour professionals that play the tour, they basically run and own this wonderful venue. It is their championship, and it's one that each one of those players playing here this week would want to win. It might not be considered a major, but the Players, it is their championship.
Frank, so many different lies in golf. This is one you don't see too much. The golf ball is on the mulch.
Yeah, and it never really sits up, so this is one of those ones you've got to be much more conservative than you'd like to be. Play for the fat of the green.
Frank, approach shot here at 6. Good chance to make birdie?
There is. You can almost cut this green into thirds. There's that front third, the left third, and of course the back third. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
Frank, just been a really sloppy hole to this point.
Whew, just a barrage of mistakes, really. And, well, the best he can do, really, with a good one, is to get away with.
Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Back over to number 7. Frank, nothing spectacular to this point in the first round. What does the player need to do just to kind of generate some momentum?
I actually think they're playing all right, Rich. It's just, you compared to the top of the leaderboard, you start to think, well, maybe they're struggling. But there's ebbs and flows in this game. At the moment, it's just almost like a holding pattern. But it's time to change that.
Strategically, Frank, how do you like to play this hole?
You've got to be aware of where you don't want to go. That front right bunker is probably the easiest bunker shot on this hole, but there's a little pop bunker on the left. That one there, always difficult to get it up and down.
This is a good-looking shot. And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole, this for birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Still even par for the day. Here we are at the 8th at Pete Dye's famed stadium course at the TPC Sawgrass. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Frank, this is a hole that I really like.
And players do too, Rich, especially off that back tee where it must be about 80 yards of shoot that you go through before the hole actually starts to open up. And this green, 11 bunkers in total around the whole putting surface.
In the thick stuff.
Thick, it's brittle out there.
Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Good effort and a good par putt. Frank, I think this is one of the most fascinating holes on the golf course. The 583-yard par 5 ninth hole.
With technology now, a lot more players can reach this par 5 and 2. Gone are the days where it was a true three-shotter, but I remember when Sergio Garcia hit that 3-wood from, what was it, 270, 280 yards? Still one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole.
Second shot.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, we talk so often about striking a golf ball. This player is a superior ball striker, but there's another element involved, isn't there?
It's called distance control. It's not the number on the bottom of the club you're hitting. It's knowing how far it goes to avoid mistakes just like that.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Navalo. So long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Players. Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Frank, you've been there. What's the best way to approach this next shot at the 7th hole?
There's a lot of mounding on this 7th green, to the right and the left. You can use those mounds to kick the ball to the flag.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Settles in over the putt. Good effort and good par putt. Frank, 17 here at TPC Sawgrass gets all the attention when you look at the par threes, justifiably so. But number 8 is a daunting challenge in its own right.
It is, longest of the 4 par threes, plus it's just littered with bunkers around the side, the back, and the front.
Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well done. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2, but you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
Oh, this looks good.
It certainly is.
Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. Will settle. Now the second shot to the par 5.
There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. Just wants to hit about an inch behind the ball. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a long putt. Really, the key is the speed. If it drops, that's a bonus.
You like that right there, Frank?
Beautiful lag putt. Great pace. Even par currently.
Has his par. Now on to one of the most exciting back nines in golf here at the TPC Sawgrass and the Stadium course. Let's begin at number 10, Frank, and what do you make of this hole?
It's another one where you're just trying to fit the tee shot in the fairway there. It's not a driver, just something that stays right. And of course, we've seen a lot of people stray here down the left side. Who can forget Mickelson when he won his Players Championship, hitting that phenomenal 7-iron out of the fairway bunker, through the trees, and still finding the putting surface. But speaking of the putting surface, this green has more undulations than just about any green on the golf course.
Birdie try up next. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Not a problem from there, right in the middle. So 2 rounds in the books. Frank, that was fun.
It certainly was. It bodes well for the weekend. Saw a lot of good players that seem to actually have a good fit for this golf course. That bodes well for the next 36 holes.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Players. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, how about this third shot to the par 5 11?
Well, coming from the right side, once again, you have to be exact on the distance because that green now is at the wrong angle.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Now sitting at 2 under par. Here now, the 12th hole at the TPC Sawgrass. It's a 358-yard par 4, so short on the card, Frank, but obviously a challenge. What's the key here?
Once again, trying to find that right position on the fairway, and that's down the right side. Anything down the left, that mound is going to block your view. What a great shot.
Frank, drive down the right side.
Yeah, and it certainly opens up. Now you've got a full view of the flag, and this is birdie time. Safely on deck.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. That was not a very good read right there. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. And Frank, we always like when they have the whole location back left and that ball trickles down, feeds, and you can see some really good ones and maybe even an ace here.
Yeah, just like Mickelson a few years ago. Down there, it looked like it was going to flirt with a bunker, ran up and over the ridge, and in it goes. This is one where you have to play ground ball as well as high ball. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Frank, historically in this great championship, 14 has proven to be a pivotal hole.
Everybody focuses on the finish here, but you're absolutely right, Rich. This can be an absolute scorecard record because if you spin your drive left, the drop back, perhaps on the ladies' tees, you can make 6 in a heartbeat. You try and air to the right, you can make 6 from the mounds. So good drive down 14, gives you a chance for that fast finish.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Frank challenging approach shot here at the 14th.
Yeah, there's some subtle mounds in this green. One that comes in on the right, and then another one that starts to come in about 2/3 of the way down on that left side.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Beautiful approach shot there and a good chance to take advantage. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Frank well off the pace, but the true professionals, they keep digging, trying to get better. Frank, you've been there at so many tournaments around the world. One round to go, a chance to win. What's that feeling like?
Oh, this is the fun part, knowing whether or not your body can handle the situation. You've got to push it to the limit. But that's what sport and golf is all about. Trying to do something that you've dreamed of for so long.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Players. Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Second shot coming out of the rough here. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Frank, TPC Sawgrass has been such a great stage for so many great players through the years. I'm thinking about Norman, Couples, Love, Tiger, Phil, Sergio. They've all won here.
Well, when Norman shot that incredible score, that really made them change the golf course. It became a little bit more difficult after that, but seeing Fuzzy Zeller wave the white towel after what was probably one of the best driving exhibitions I've ever seen in my lifetime was something. And, of course, my fellow countryman Craig Perks using just one putt over those last three holes was memorable.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, you're one behind. Sunday afternoon, you're trying to win one of the game's great championships. Is this a spot that you love as a competitor, the 16th hole of par 5, with a chance to make a lot of noise?
It's a spot you cannot hide from, Rich, because you know exactly there. If you haven't looked at a scoreboard, you can feel it from the atmosphere.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards.
Okay, the second shot now at this par 5.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. See if you can go one better than yesterday when he made par. Just putt for birdie.
Continues to roll it very well all day long. Frank, how early in the round are you thinking about the shot at 17?
Well, when you're playing well, you're pushing it ahead. Maybe you don't think about it till 14 or 15. If you're struggling, you might be thinking it early as the 5th or the 6th hole. But put it this way, when you make the walk from 16 to 17, you are thinking of it every inch of the way. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right.
Always take that. Good par putt right there. Now to the final hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. Frank, is this one of the toughest finishing holes in the sport?
It is, because the simple reason you've played 17 holes and the job isn't done yet.
Good contact, good result.
Ooh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
Frank, through the years we have seen countless what we would call good ball strikers, great swingers of the golf club, but there is something else that separates those kinds of players with the truly great achievers in the sport. What is it?
Great achievers have more than one plan. I think most players, it's always good if they're playing their golf. But what do you do if your driving is off or if your iron play is off? Do you have a plan B? Great players not only have a plan B, they have a plan C as well. And that's the difference. So when you set foot on the first tee, you've also got to be aware of, what if my driver doesn't go as well as I would like to, or my iron play isn't as sharp? Can I still compete?
so they can turn 74 into a 71.
That's right, and at the end of a 4-day tournament, the 71 doesn't look so bad, even if somebody shot 65 that day. Remember, as you know, and both of us know now, when you look at 4 days, someone always plays average for a day, but they don't play bad.
Golf tournaments aren't 100-yard sprints, they're marathons. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace, it's hard to be critical of that.
This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. You give it, and it taketh away.
Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's the opening round of the Peach Invitational. Now to the 10th hole. Frank, nothing spectacular to this point in the first round. What does the player need to do just to kind of generate some momentum?
I actually think they're playing all right, Rich. It's just, you compared to the top of the leaderboard, you start to think, well, maybe they're struggling. But there's ebbs and flows in this game. At the moment, it's just sort of almost like a holding pattern. But it's time to change that.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Getting set now for the approach here at the 10th.
A good drive down the left side looks nicely at this green, but the green pitches from that back right to the front left. You can use the slope to your advantage.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt.
Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Getting set now over the putt.
Oh my gosh, that hurts. That's costly right there.
Painful.
Just a couple of feet. Frank, they didn't have any openings at EA Sports Basketball because, I mean, this is just brutal to watch. Now at the only hole on the golf course that starts with a 1 at the beginning of the yardage. This par 3 11th, just under 200 yards, 197.
It does play a little bit uphill, so you might as well say it's 200 yards plus. Narrow entry into this green. Looks can be deceiving. This hole looks like a pushover, but stray a little left, stray a little right, and then you're sort of pitching across the green with a lot of tilt in it.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Here at the downhill 12th now. Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
It has historically been one of the final events of the PGA Tour season. Prior to 2007, its field consisted exclusively of the top 30 money winners of the past PGA Tour season. Since 2007, it's been the final event of the 4-tournament FedEx Cup playoff, and eligibility is determined by FedEx Cup points amassed throughout the season instead. While originally followed by the PGA Tour Fall Series, a realignment of the Tour's season structure beginning in 2013 makes the Tour Championship the final event of the season. Great shot coming out of that bunker right there.
Showing some skills today.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
All right, no damage done. Stays at 1 over par with that putt. This is a par 4 that will test the players. 476 yards, the 13th hole. And Frank, it's a good driving hole.
It certainly is. It plays closer to 500 yards because you're going uphill. Avoid the 2 bunkers on the left. That's a given there. You can see those off the tee. And that second shot, make sure you take enough club to carry that bunker on the left.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Comfortably over the ball. Ready to go here at 13.
Good swing, good shot yet again.
Had the club face open just a bit at impact, and that one moves considerably to the right of the flagstick.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. He'll take par and move on. What a thrilling afternoon of golf here at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia. For all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo saying so long until next time. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Peach Invitational. Beautiful-looking shot right here.
Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Well, Frank, as we know, golf is not played generally on a flat surface, and here we go, uphill.
Yeah, and the uphill lie is going to guarantee you more loft than normal. So you're going to have to counteract that with maybe an extra club.
Generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. And getting ready for the putt. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Hole number 8, now another dogleg left set up here. 405 yards, par 4. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That shot does finish up on the green, but it sets up for a very difficult putt.
This is a cross-country special.
My goodness, what does a guy have to do to make a putt out here? So a tester from 4 feet. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now rounding out the front side, finally a par 5. It's a 600-yarder.
Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
Locked in on the read and the speed.
Frank, I'm sure it feels good to get some red numbers on the card, but this tournament is probably too far out of reach at this point.
No question.
Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that?
Frank, one of our colleagues at Golf Channel, Brian Hammond's always liked to say, keep it in the short grass. It is nice to play from the fairway.
The game's so much easier from the fairway. Less decisions to be made. You don't have to worry about a flyer or the lip in front of the bunker or a tree. The game almost appears straightforward from there.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Could use this one. This is for par.
And he makes it for par. Now at the only hole on the course that starts with a 1 at the beginning of the yardage, this par 3 11th, just under 200 yards, right around 197. in the thick stuff.
Thick, it's brutal out there.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. And he's made the green. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Good putt. That concludes the second round here at this amazing golf course. And Frank, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
I certainly am as well. The players have gotten off to a very good start, and they must have a good feel for the course right now and know what they have to do in order to win.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Peach Invitational. He'll be happy with that in the fairway. Now a good chance to attack this hole. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Good-looking shot right here. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par. Rich, that was some shot out of the rough. I really didn't think he could even get that on the green.
Well, just to get it on the green, as you say, I think is a big win. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole.
Even par currently.
Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Now at the 8th, looking at 405 yards on this par 4.
Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Par 4 8th, Frank, draw it up for us, this approach shot.
Well, a good tee shot, just a short iron in here. This is one hole really where you should go at the flag. If the flag's on the left, take it on. Flag's on the right, take it on. And the reason why is you're going to keep the ball in the right section.
Headed for the bunker? Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know, it might just go in.
A beautiful, soft touch out of the bunker. That's Mickelson-esque. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Ooh, look at this, Frank. 600-yard par 5 here at the 9th.
It's tasty. You'd think you'd just comfortably smash a drive over there and reach it in 2. Sometimes it works out that way, but they just put a little lake that comes across, and that cuts in the fairway. So if you have hit an errant tee shot, you might have to make a decision. Oh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
And now the second shot here at this par 5.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Well, that's how you play the game. Right there. Everybody loves them. Birdie on the card. This is the second par 5 to have been shortened to play as a par 4, and this hole requires that the tee shot be long and to the left side of the fairway. That allows players to see the putting surface. The second shot will likely be a mid to long iron into a pretty large green, and that green slopes severely from back right to front left, making lag putting from the back a real challenge. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. Now the approach to the par 4 10th. That is superbly executed inside of 5 feet. Just a sensational approach shot.
Well, that was a tricky one, but it's in.
The 11th hole here at East Lake is just 197 yards. Frank, where's the trouble at this par 3?
More at the front, Rich. You can see why high, soft landing shots are well rewarded at 11. Very tight in the front of the screen and then starts to widen up. This is another one that's about distance control, iron play. The par 3s here at East Lake are wonderful.
Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. You don't have this for birdie.
It's no snack, though.
can't make it, Frank, if you don't hit it.
Hubert Green once said, 99% of putts left short don't go in. I don't know what happened to the other 1%, but...
Those keep the round going, those par putts.
Don't forget the final round comes your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, so long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Peach Invitational.
Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. See if they can let loose with a good one here from 160 yards. Second shot.
Safely on deck.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
So a tester from 4 feet.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
We mentioned just 2 par 5s here at East Lake, and here is that second par 5. It's the 15th and only 525 yards.
Yeah, this is a doozy, really, especially where it comes in the round. It forces you to attack the hole. There's plenty of trouble off the tee, bunkers right and that solitary one on the left. But the second shot, if you can just keep it slightly left of the flag, you'll notice the natural contours will send that ball to the right.
Well, that ball nestled down just a bit in that heavy rough. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee, though, getting away with par.
Bit surprising, misses the green in regulation here at the par 5.
Yeah, you'd think this is one of the easier holes on the golf course. So now just trying to avoid 6.
And he's made it onto the green now. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Moving on to number 16 now, 481-yard par 4. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut. Oh, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
That is an unusual golf swing, but those have worked throughout time. Lee Trevino, Ray Floyd, Jim Furyk. They've done all right, haven't they? He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. He's made it. Over the last decade, the 17th at 455 yards with that water looming left has proven to be one of the most dramatic holes in golf.
Oh, I like that.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot, he is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
That is a solid par putt. The 18th hole here at East Lake is a par 3, 235 yards to the green. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Shouldn't be a problem here. So a tough way to close the round, missing a short putt and a bogey here at 18.
Even par currently.
Frank, this has been an absolute mess today and all week long.
You said it best.
Well, Frank, our players really put on a show for us today here at East Lake.
Oh, they did. I hope they enjoyed playing one of the great golf courses of the world, Rich. So this course has hosted so many great events. US Women's Amateur, the Ryder Cup, obviously the Men's Amateur, the FedEx Cup, the Tour Championship, and of course the history, all the great players from yesteryear that have played here. You've now joined that list.
So for all of us here at EA Sports, this is Rich Lerner, along with Frank Nobilo, saying so long until next time.